Listen to me very carefully, because what I'm about to tell you tonight is going to change everything you thought you knew about how a man's heart works. I know what this feels like. I know you've read that last message 40 times. I know you've been rehearsing what you would say if he called right now, standing in your kitchen, holding a cup of tea that went cold 2 hours ago. I know the silence between you and that man has started to feel louder than any argument y'all ever had. And I know a piece of you is scared that if you don't do something, say something, send something, he's going to forget you exist. But before I tell you exactly what to do to make that man miss you like his next breath depends on it, you need to understand what is really happening in his mind right now. Because once you see it, sister, you will never look at this situation the same way again. Now let me talk to you like I talk to my own daughter. Let me sit down across from you for a minute. You've been checking that phone. Don't lie to me. You've been checking it in the morning, before your feet even hit the floor. You've been checking it at red lights. You've been checking it in the bathroom at work, hiding it under the counter like it's contraband. You picked it up at 11:47 last night and there was nothing there, and you told yourself, I'll just wait one more day. And then you woke up and you checked it again. I see you. You sent that message 3 days ago. Maybe it was something soft, something like, hey, thinking of you. Maybe it was something braver, we need to talk. Maybe it was something you regret now. Something with too many words in it. Something that sounded like begging when you read it back. And that little gray check mark turned blue. He read it. He read it, sister. And then he did nothing. And every hour since then, a piece of you has been building a case against yourself. You've been asking, what did I do? What did I say? Was I too much? Was I not enough? Did I text too fast? Did I laugh too loud that night? Was my dress too tight? Was my heart too open? You are sitting in your own home, in the body God gave you, in the life you built with your own two hands, and you are on trial for the crime of loving somebody who chose to go quiet on you. Stop it. Let me tell you something. That silence you're sitting in right now, that silence is not empty. That silence is full. It is full of every question you're afraid to ask. Every fear you're afraid to name, every prayer you've whispered into your pillow at 2 a.m. That silence has a weight to it, doesn't it? It sits on your chest. It sits on your ribs. It makes it hard to breathe when you wake up. And here is what nobody is telling you, my dear. That silence is not just happening to you. That silence is doing something to you. It is teaching you a lesson about yourself that you have avoided your whole life. And when I show you what that lesson is, you are going to understand why God allowed this man to go quiet on you in the first place. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I want you to close your eyes for a second, right where you are. Whether you're in the car, whether you're washing dishes, whether you're lying in bed with the lights off and your headphones in, I want you to close your eyes, and I want you to remember the last time this man made you feel small. Not on purpose, not with a fist, not with a raised voice, but with his absence, with his distance, with the way you had to ask him twice for something you should never have had to ask for at all. You remember it, don't you? You remember the way you laughed too hard at his joke, hoping he'd stay a little longer. You remember the way you did your hair for a Tuesday phone call. You remember the way you canceled on your girlfriends because he might come over, and then he didn't come over. You remember the way you looked in the mirror after he left and thought, I don't recognize her anymore. You remember the day you started to shrink. I want you to sit with that, because we are not going to skip over this part. Every video you've been watching, every article you've been reading, every friend you've been calling, they've been rushing you. They've been telling you, girl, get over him, move on, delete his number. And I understand why they said it. They love you. They want you to stop hurting. But nobody sat down with you and said, sister, Before you move on, you deserve to be seen. So I'm sitting with you tonight. You are not crazy. You are not too sensitive. You are not overreacting. You felt what you felt because it was real. That connection was real. That love was real. That hope was real. And the pain of watching a man treat something real like it was optional. That pain is real too. Say it with me. That pain is real too. You did not imagine it. You did not make it up in your head. He was there, and then he wasn't. He was warm, and then he was cold. He was your future, and then he was your unread messages. That is whiplash you felt, that confusion, that's not weakness beautiful. That's your spirit telling you something has been stolen from you and you have a right to grieve it. But here's what happens next. And what I'm about to tell you in the next part of this video is the part that changes women's lives. So don't you move. Let me tell you something about the way a man's mind works. And I don't say this to excuse him. I don't say this to make you feel sorry for him. I say this because you cannot fight a battle you do not understand. And most women, God bless them, have been fighting for years without ever knowing what they were fighting for. A man does not value what is given to him. He values what he had to become somebody to earn. Write that down. I've seen this 1,000 times. A woman meets a man, and from the very first date, she is pouring. She is pouring her time, her attention, her body, her cooking, her forgiveness, her second chances, her third chances, her patience, her prayers. She is pouring like a fountain that never runs dry, and she thinks she is showing him love. She thinks she is proving to him she's a good woman. She thinks she is doing what her mama did, what her grandma did, what the women in her family have always done. But listen to me carefully. What that man is receiving is not love. What that man is receiving is access. And there is a difference between love and access. And most women never learn it. Love is what you give a man who has proven he can hold it. Access is what you give a man because you are afraid he'll leave if you don't. Now watch this. Because here is what is happening inside his head while you are over there wondering why he went quiet. Men are hunters. I don't care what year it is. I don't care what these little articles online tell you. I don't care how many books have been written trying to reprogram what God stitched into a man from the beginning. A man is wired to pursue. A man is wired to chase. A man is wired to invest. And the thing about investment, sister, is that a man does not respect what he did not have to work for. When you texted him first, he felt good. When you texted him first again, he felt flattered. When you texted him first 3 days in a row, he stopped wondering. He stopped wondering if you liked him. He stopped wondering if you'd be there tomorrow. He stopped wondering if he had to bring his best to the table because you were bringing enough for both of you. And the moment a man stops wondering about you, he stops thinking about you. Say it again. The moment a man stops wondering about you, he stops thinking about you. That is not cruelty, my dear. That is biology. That is the way God made him. A man's mind is built for pursuit, and pursuit requires mystery. Pursuit requires uncertainty. Pursuit requires the possibility that he might lose you. You take away the possibility that he might lose you, and you have taken away the only fuel his heart was running on. Now, I want to tell you a little story. Let me tell you about a woman I'll call Denise. Denise came to me a couple of years ago. She was crying so hard she could barely speak. She had been with this man for 2 years. 2 years, sister. And in the last 3 months, he had slowly started disappearing. Not all at once. Never all at once. That's not how it works. He just started answering slower. He started saying he was tired. He started making plans on the weekends without her. And Denise was doing what most of y'all do. She was doubling down. She was texting more. She was calling more. She was showing up more. She was showing up more. She was cooking more. She was posting pictures of them together more. And the more she poured, the further he ran. You know why? Because a man does not run from a woman who has become a wall. A man runs from a woman who has become a flood. When you flood a man with your presence, with your worry, with your questions, with your check-ins, with your "are we okay" text messages at midnight, you become water. And water, my dear, is easy to walk away from. It gets on his shoes and he shakes it off. But a wall is different. A woman who has become her own foundation, a woman who has her own peace, her own schedule, her own God, her own joy, her own life. That woman is not water. That woman is a mountain. And a man does not shake a mountain off his shoes. A man stands in front of a mountain and he wonders, how do I climb this? You need to become the mountain. But I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but I love him. I don't want to play games. I don't want to be cold. That's not who I am. And I hear you. I hear you, beautiful. I am not asking you to play a game. Games are for children. What I am telling you is a law. There is a difference between a game and a law, and most women never learn it. A game is something you do to trick somebody. A law is something you do because it is true. And the law of a man's heart is this: he will only miss what he cannot access on demand. That's the whole video right there. If you close this out right now and never come back, take that one sentence with you and let it save your life. He will only miss what he cannot access on demand. Now, here is the second thing you need to understand about what is happening in his mind. And this is the part they don't want you to know. When a man goes silent on you, he is not thinking about you the way you are thinking about him. He is not sitting in his room, staring at the wall, agonizing over every word you said. He is not rehearsing conversations. He is not scrolling through old pictures at 2 a.m. That's what you're doing, sister. And you have been projecting your soft, feminine, thoughtful heart onto a man who is built completely differently. A man in silence is not in mourning. A man in silence is testing. He is testing to see how long you will wait. He is testing to see if you will chase. He is testing to see if the story he has been telling himself about you, that you'll always be there, that you'll always come back, that you'll always forgive. He is testing to see if that story is still true. And every time you break the silence first, you confirm his story. Every text you send unanswered is a data point in his file on you. Every "hey, just checking in" is a signature on a contract that says, I will be here no matter how you treat me. And I know that hurts. I know it. But I would rather you sit in this truth for 10 uncomfortable minutes tonight than sit in this pattern for another 10 wasted years. Now, here's what nobody's telling you. And this is where it changes. The reason he keeps coming back after weeks of silence is not because he loves you, not the way you think. He comes back because your availability has become his emotional insurance policy. He knows he can walk away, live his life, do whatever he wants, and when he gets lonely, tired, bored, or scared, he can send you one text, one "hey stranger," one "been thinking about you," and you will come running. You are his safety net. And a man does not marry his safety net, beautiful. A man marries the woman he is afraid to lose. Understand? But I'm going to tell you in a minute the one text a man sends when he is about to break, the exact words, the exact time of night, the exact energy behind it. But first, I need you to understand why you have been the one holding this whole thing together. Because it is not because you are weak. It is not because you are stupid. It is not because you don't know better. It is because somewhere along the way, sister, somebody taught you that love was something you had to earn. Somebody taught you that if you just tried harder, gave more, sacrificed more, prayed harder, cooked better, dressed prettier, stayed quieter, you would finally be enough to be chosen and kept. And that lie has been running your life. If any of this is landing on you right now, do me one favor, just one. Tap that subscribe button, because I make these videos for the sister who's ready to remember who she is. And I don't want you to miss the next one, because we are just getting started. Now let me tell you what has really been happening in your patterns, because until you see this part, you are going to keep repeating this cycle with every man God sends across your path. You have been operating from what I call a scarcity spirit. You have been treating this man like he is the last good man on earth. You have been treating his attention like it is a resource that might run out. You have been treating his affection like it is a limited time offer, and anytime you treat a man like he is scarce, you make yourself abundant. And abundance in a woman without discipline becomes a currency he spends until it's gone. I need you to hear me on this one. Your energy is not free. Your presence is not free. Your patience is not free. Your prayers over his life are not free. Your body is not free. Your Saturday nights are not free. You have been giving away sacred things for the price of a good morning text, and you have been calling it love. But it wasn't love, my dear. It was hunger. And I say this without judgment. Every woman goes through it. Every woman has a season where she confuses hunger for love. But the season is over, because tonight we are teaching your heart the difference. And what I am about to tell you next is the part that changes women's lives. So don't you move. Now listen to me carefully. I want you to hear this next part with your chest, not with your ears. You were never the problem. Say it out loud where you are. You were never the problem. Your love was not too much. Your heart was not too big. Your softness was not a mistake. Your desire to be chosen was not a character flaw. You are not broken. You are not damaged. You are not too available. You are not too sensitive. You are not too emotional. Your availability was the problem, not you. Your availability. And there is a difference between who you are and how you have been showing up. And most women never learn it. You are a queen who has been offering the crown before the man ever asked for the throne. Let me say that again. You are a queen who has been offering the crown before the man ever asked for the throne. Your softness, that beautiful, God-given, feminine softness, was mistaken for weakness because you had no boundaries protecting it. Softness without boundaries is a target, but softness behind a boundary, that is a fortress. And a man will spend his whole life trying to earn his way into a fortress. You've been living with the drawbridge down. We're pulling that drawbridge up tonight. Now here's the shift I need you to make right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not after he sends one more text. Right now, you have to stop believing that his silence is a verdict on your worth, because it is not. His silence is a verdict on his capacity. A man will only give you what he is capable of giving you. And a man who is capable of loving you the way God intended will not go silent on you for days. He will not read your messages and leave you sitting in the void. He will not treat your heart like a hotel room he can check into and check out of at his convenience. That's not love. That is convenience. There is a difference between a man who loves you and a man who is used to you, and most women never learn it. A man who loves you is invested. A man who is used to you is comfortable. And comfortable men do not miss you, sister. They just come back when they get bored. So the reframe is this: you are not trying to make him miss you. You are becoming a woman he cannot afford to lose. Those are two different projects, and they require two different women. The woman who is trying to make him miss you, she is still centered on him. Every action she takes, every silence she keeps, every post she posts, every outfit she wears, she is doing it for his eyes. He is still the audience. He is still the God. She has just changed her tactics. But the woman he cannot afford to lose. Sister, she doesn't have an audience. She has a life. And that life is so full, so lit up, so anointed, so aligned, so peaceful, so purposeful, so beautiful, that when a man walks into her presence, he knows he is stepping into something sacred. And when he walks out, he knows he has walked away from something he might never get back. You need to become sacred again. Not to him, to you. You need to become the kind of woman who wakes up in the morning and prays before she picks up her phone. You need to become the kind of woman whose day is not determined by whether a man responded to her. You need to become the kind of woman whose peace has a moat around it and whose worth is not up for negotiation with anybody who did not build it. Say it with me. My worth is not up for negotiation with anybody who did not build it. Now let me tell you what a high-value woman actually is. Because this phrase gets thrown around online, and most of it is nonsense. Most of it is about designer bags and red-bottom shoes and how to trick a rich man into a marriage. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about high net worth. I'm talking about high value. And there's a difference. A high-value woman is a woman whose energy is expensive. That's it.